Yeah, just a showing up every day. So yeah, yeah. By the way, I love the pictures behind you. I love the pictures on the wall. Can you
Thank you
tell
so
me about
much.
those? Yeah, they are lovely. Like, and then
Oh,
I can see the little sculpture of Buddha. Is it right?
yes, that's it. It's actually a water fountain too. You can plug it in
Oh,
and water will run. It's really cool.
oh, I see. All right. So yeah, and yeah, so it looks lovely. So can you tell me about the things on the wall? Like, so,
Sure. Well, most of this work we selected together with my mom, and they are pre-Raphaelist artists.
uh-huh,
And we really like the style. Like we used to have a few originals, many years ago, and
uh-huh.
now we just put up so many here, and we really like the layout. I'm very glad that you noticed that and you
Mhm,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
they're beautiful. Yeah, so artistic pictures.
Yes.
So those are the places you travel to?
No, no, just a few of
Oh,
them.
okay. All right. I
I've
get
seen
it.
I've seen some of them in person, but no, not
Uh,
everything.
okay. So my wall is, well, so this is just a virtual background, but
Uh,
I just have only one art piece, yeah, on the wall, and it's yeah, illustration of a belly dancer because of
hmm,
belly dancing. Yeah, so it's a part of my life. But
uh,
anyways, yeah. So by the way, thank you for joining me. And yeah, so we're happy to have you so on my podcast. And then so I just look through the questions you chose, and then yeah, so looking forward to hear your answers. So okay, so but before that, so what do you want to start first? Talking about your business or talking about your fail up stories. So whatever you want, yeah. So you can choose the way you feel comfortable. So
mhm. We could talk about my business first.
okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So well, we talked about it already in the pre-interview, but yeah, so that was kind of a rehearsal. So all right, so please go ahead. And then as I know, the keyword for your business is life coaching,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Okay. So please walk me through your business.
For sure. I've spent the last 2 months really getting clear on the branding. I thought that was really important. And when I started this, I wanted to make sure it was about me, what I believe in, something that I was passionate about, that I could, really enjoy doing, that it would have the
Mhm,
kind of impact that I'm looking for. So
mhm,
my goal ultimately, I am a life coach, I am self-improvement coach, and my ultimate goal is will be to create a system of success
mhm,
that works for the 99% of people who struggle,
mhm,
which it's for people who know they want more, but they have failed at sacrificing a lot in order to get it.
mhm,
And we need a new paradigm.
mhm. Okay, yeah. All right. So thanks for explaining yeah, so about your business. And then I have one follow-up question. And so you mentioned the word success. So how do you define the word success? Because yeah, the definition on it, so it's different from person to person. So do you have your own definition on
I
success?
sure do.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
interesting
Want to listen
is that
to.
I am sure that there are both universal definitions of success and personal definitions of success.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But we can start with what's more general. I think that even though we are used to thinking that success has a lot to do with, visible parameters,
Mm-hmm.
like being a good professional, making a lot of money, having a wonderful marriage, being very healthy. Like those are some of the parameters that we look at, maybe looking good or confident. Those are some of the societal parameters we have for success. And it's something that I don't think we should stop pursuing, but at the same time, it's something that puts a lot of people down because anyone who
Mhm,
doesn't have that feel like they are wrong, that like they are lacking
mhm,
something, and they just fixate on the outcome. And when we fixate on the outcome, it's almost like we're repelling it, and we're also, most importantly, not enjoying the present. So it's a word that I like to use a lot is conditionless. I don't know if that is in a dictionary, but the whole
mhm.
point.
Wait,
uh,
wait, wait. Can you
yes,
say the word one more time?
conditionless.
Conditionless. Oh, okay, so all right, so but I can feel that. Yeah, so I can feel that what it means. And so you know what? And I'm a single mom, and then and sometimes I feel like, well, so no one just told me that. So I'm living a kind of so no one just told me that I'm on the wrong track or something like that. But sometimes it feels like I'm not living the life which is the right answer in the society, because the society shows kind of a mom and dad and the kids. So yeah, sometimes I felt like that. And then you know what, when I watch the news, they just say, oh well, so this year the average salary, the average annual salary is blah 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 like that. So the society talks about the average and the what people gotta do. So anyways, sorry to jump in. Yeah, please go on.
No, I
Yeah.
think that was important because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, what you have been exposed to are fixed parameters, basically goals that you haven't chosen for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was saying is that to me, um, conditionless, or I like to use terms like alignment as well and flow, is about doing what you enjoy doing, but at the same time moving forward in a way that feels natural, in a way that you're not forcing results. And lately, my definition of success has a lot more to do with knowing that I live in alignment. And what that looks like is that I have goals that I set for myself, long term goals. None of
Mm-hmm.
them are numerical goals. At least personally, that has helped me a lot not
Mm-hmm.
to like obsess over the result or put myself down for not having numbers. So
Mm-hmm.
I just gave up like giving numbers to my goals. Um, and then they are really big. They are the things that I want to achieve in a lifetime, not in a
Mm-hmm.
year. And then, there is this goal setting model like, oh, think forward 5 years and then one, and then 3 months, and then 1 month, then every day. I don't really, I think that's going overboard with trying to control everything.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah.
I don't like going so nitty gritty with
Mm-hmm.
how I'm breaking down my goals. So to me, it's the bigger goal there. And then the important part for me is that, which is part of my definition of success, is that I define everything by the actions that I can take. So, for example, if I am thinking business is important in this sense, if I am thinking about growing a following or attracting, say, or making sales or uh, attracting clients, those are things that are not really within my control. And I think that's important. And I remember getting that insight from the book of Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of,
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. So we're
uh,
gonna talk about it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna
yes.
deeper. Yeah, later. Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it feels so liberating. I mean, to me, part of my definition of success is that I don't set goals that
Mm-hmm.
I cannot just make happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
If my goal is to launch a website, I know that's in my control. If my
Mm-hmm.
goal is to make sales, that's not in my control. I'm not even setting those goals for now.
Exactly. Yeah.
But working on your foundation, that's
Uh-huh.
a foundation. I think it's important because it's almost like you're setting yourself up for success. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
saying I want that, I will go get it, you
Mm-hmm.
say what can I build to almost create that result as a consequence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you know what? Actually, the things you just told me right now, so I really needed that advice because today I posted my second long form video clip, and then
Uh-huh.
actually the number of views, actually it was under my expectation. So in this case, actually the number of views, I cannot control that actually. But what I can control is, yeah, how many video clips I post on a week, or yeah, so whether I show up every day. So definitely. So you know what? So I always just talk to myself, shine. You gotta focus on what you got, you or what you can control. But yeah, so sometimes I forget that, so need to remind me of it regularly. So thank you.
You're most welcome, and I'm glad you
Yeah.
share that. I think in there are so many things you could do, and
Mm-hmm.
for example, I think that developing your skills is something that I feel very inclined to do. It's simply like it's like strengthening, this foundation I was talking about earlier. You strengthen it. So the consistency, for example, aside from the numbers, consistency alone increases your chances to be successful, regardless of the exact result you can create, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure, sure, sure.
And the same goes for skill. Actually, I had an interview, podcast interview yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very new to podcast, and yesterday I finally had an interview with someone. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
congratulations. Yeah, I'd
I
love to
know.
listen to
Thank
that
you.
too. Yeah.
It's really great. And what I realized is that in the last 2 months, I've been practicing my speech so often that when I was in that interview yesterday, this is an insight that I had after the interview. I found myself not having to think about my questions too much. It almost
Mhm,
like they threw a question at me. I knew exactly how to respond. I
mhm,
didn't get lost in track. Like I
mhm,
barely made like long pauses.
mhm,
And then I said, that is, I wasn't even looking for it, but that's the payoff of,
mhm.
writing my ideas all the time, practicing on video, my delivery. And then when I was at the podcast, something that's not like 100% planned, like my videos are, it just came out well. It worked.
Oh, wow. So do you have a link for the podcast?
And not yet. There will be
Ah, like,
soon. I
so
would love to share that honestly because
you're
I was
editing.
really happy
Uh,
that
yeah,
the
I can
guy
picture
will
that.
edit that thing, and he
Uh-huh,
says that he will do a like a simultaneous launch of 8
uh-huh,
episodes all at once.
uh-huh.
So, but once I know, I will share it with you for sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. So how did you like it? How did you like the experience?
It was a very good experience.
Uh-huh,
The theme of the podcast was really good. He talked about
uh-huh.
advice that we take but we don't implement. That was the
Mhm,
angle, and I
mhm.
had the opportunity of sharing those stories, right? Where I
Oh,
found advice, but I
uh-huh,
failed at it or didn't
uh-huh,
do it right away.
uh-huh. Wow. Okay. All right. So now, then, yeah. So it sounds like, yeah. It's time to move on to the next question. So, um, yeah. So, the question I share is like, can you share one or two moments when things completely fell apart? So, yeah, this is true fail up story. So, yeah. So, would you share your fail up moments? Well, we talked about it in the pre-interview, but yeah, so now you can share it with other, yeah, audience or your future clients. Yeah, so would you share, please?
Absolutely. So yeah, now is the time where we get to the sad parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything that I've done has involved a lot of failure. Everything that I've done for my career, and I wish I had known better before, but I now see how everything fits together. And there was one experience that was really, really particularly bad, but I think it was a culmination of so many other things. It's like all my failures, came all at once, like they
Mhm,
sank in one moment. And I
mhm,
remember it was 2 years ago. It was
mhm,
the end of the year. I think it was actually New Year's Eve for that following year, and I was completely defeated. Like I had stuck to my last business idea for 2 years.
mhm,
Um, I was making very little sales. I was working with some clients, but I was very like undercharging them a lot, and I was marketing. constantly. Like every
Uh-huh.
day I was putting every day except weekends, I was working 2 hours a day on social
Wow.
media, messaging, posting,
Uh-huh.
engaging. Like I was doing everything. I
That's
had a
so
Facebook
me.
group.
That's so
Yeah,
me nowadays. Yeah.
it's true. And
Yeah.
without
Uh,
mentioning that I
uh-huh.
never quit my
Uh-huh.
full-time job, so I was doing that at
Uh-huh.
the same time,
Uh-huh.
and it was incredibly exhausting. It was incredibly frustrating because I
Mhm.
was getting attention, but I wasn't converting many people. I
Mhm.
wasn't making the revenue that I was looking for or that I needed. And I also invested in a lot of money. I put down, a few $1,000 in
Mhm.
coaching, mentoring, online courses, software
Mhm.
tools. Like I had a lot of things. Even I got to a point where I even also had a virtual assistant because I knew I needed help. That's not really the right way to outsource, but that's what I did. And things were just really, really bad. I was in deep debt. That same year, I had also taken a 3 day course, uh, the Breakthrough to Success, I think it was called. It's a 3 days program by Jack Canfield, and he's like one of the top coaches, and he believes in manifestation, law of attraction, that kind of thing. And I remember at the time I did a vision board following all the advice that he was given, and I was after the experience, I was like super inspired, super hyped. Like I was ready to take a lot of action. That's one of the things that kept me going, working hard for so long. But then it got to a point
Wow.
where I almost felt like, I mean, this is probably one of the worst places you could ever get yourself into if you care about self improvement, which is that I felt like I was attracting the opposite of what I was trying to manifest. Like I had gained weight. Um, I had, you know, my stress and my terrible, state of mind had also, damaged the relationship with my family. Not too much, but I wasn't being me. I was being like a version, an exhausted and really, uh, you know, enraged version of myself. And my lowest point was that January 1st when I looked at my vision board and I said, well, it's almost like this is all nonsense, right? Nothing works. It almost feels like the more I try, the worse things get. Even getting to the point where I told myself that I'd rather not, be so conscious or so spiritual because it's gotten me to this point. And these are honestly I have a hard time sharing, but I know it's necessary for the story to be understood. On that day of January 1st, I was talking to my family. No one was happy because they were also suffering from my decisions, and I I turned up my vision board. I destroyed my vision board.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so
I did.
heartbreaking. Oh.
Yeah, I never imagined that, with 10 years of personal development work behind me, I would ever get to that point. But that's what happened.
Okay. So, yeah, and so can you, well, so of course, yeah, that's heartbreaking. And then, well, so I used to have a vision board, but well, destroying the vision board. So you were so, of course you felt blue. Well, no, 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 I cannot just have assumption. So how did you feel at that time when you destroyed the vision board?
Uh,
Well, so if you don't want to answer, then yeah, of course you don't have to, but
no, I understand. It's a valid question. Yeah, I was feeling horrible, but at the same time, that was the moment that told me this has to stop. Like whatever I was doing, um, I couldn't do anymore. If I really needed things to change, I had to start with something different. And I had the clarity, fortunately, to make a very, very smart and conscious choice, which was to, forget about the courses that sometimes work, sometimes they don't, and forget about anything that is conditional. So you only get the result, you only feel like you're moving forward or being successful because something else is happening, right? So when you put the expectation on there, you say, you know what, I'm sick of these kind of risks. What if I went to resorted to something that always works? That's what I wanted to see myself doing. I want my next move is going to be take something that always works, no matter what. And that took me to another step, which was to take a book. I grabbed a book called The Presence Process by Michael Brown. And I read that book. At the time, I had read that book 4 times. And I knew
Wow.
it always did something for me, bring some sort of peace of mind. My original goal when I grabbed it this time was to make sure I could let go of the past, because
Mm,
that was the past constantly telling me, you know what, nothing works, nothing will ever work. You failed before, and I needed to get rid of that. So the process takes 3 months to do. I did it, every step, every habit, every chapter. I did everything that was there, and I was feeling
wow.
so much better about myself. Like that really pulled me out of the my bottom, my rock
Uh-huh.
bottom, and I started to feel like myself again. It wasn't everything that I ended up doing. There was so much more, but that was my first step. It's almost like going from underground to ground, right? You're not where you want to be, but you are out of hell.
Okay, so it's yeah, the start of a great journey. Yeah, sounds like. And then then can you share some examples you did following the guide from the book?
Absolutely, yeah, that's really important.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
one of
I'd
the
love to
big
listen to it. Yeah, because because I want to try those too. So
awesome, awesome.
yeah, not all, but yeah, just a part of it. Yeah.
So the goal of the book, it's called A Journey to a Present Moment Awareness. So the
Mm-hmm.
premise of the book is that all our problems, physical, mental, and emotional, come from the fact that we are not living in the present moment. We
Mm-hmm.
let our mind constantly think about the future and the past, and we're never really, living the present. So
Mm-hmm.
according to him, mental confusion, physical pain, and like even life circumstances that are difficult, they all
Mm-hmm.
come down to not being in the present moment. And some of the techniques of the book are, for example, starting with a daily breathing practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I am actually in the middle of the process. I started it again 2 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps you bring physical presence, right? Because when you um, stay still and stop
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Uh-huh.
you become present by focusing on your breath. And then you start
Mm-hmm.
becoming more aware of all the parts of your body, what's sore, what's not sore, if it's getting relaxed, what memories come that's try to like interrupt the
Mm-hmm.
the moment. And that is something that the books recommends you do every day,
Oh.
in the morning and at night, twice a day, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that what I really like about that is that just the fact that you're doing it, even if it's not perfect, it already brings some benefits. There is another set of mental tools that like affirmations, but what's really curious that he doesn't call them affirmations. He uses the term conscious response. So you have a
Uh-huh.
sentence
Uh-huh.
that you are repeating from time to time throughout your day. What I like
Uh-huh.
about the experience is it's really immersive too. For example, one of them that I use a lot, the one actually, let me just bring the one that I'm using now.
Oh, what's that?
At random times of the day, I just say, I feel safe. Like
Oh.
that's the sentence. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, this chapter is about the fear too. I think it's really important.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, and then, you know, other practices are like, forgiving yourself.
Mm, I
Um,
love the words. Yeah.
yes.
Mm,
So that's, so important because in my case, when
mm,
things were at their worst, I was blaming myself for everything, right? I
Mm,
made so many mistakes. I failed too much. I followed the wrong advice, and I spent a lot of money I didn't quite have.
mm,
And also, I was putting my career ahead of everything, and I let so many other things just fall apart. So those were all real mistakes that I made, but beating myself up for it was not going to make things any better. So you're going to find
so,
like some sort of
oh,
logic to that. That's
yeah,
nice.
so the thing is, I'm just writing down, yeah, so the things which come to my mind, and the first, focusing on my breath. So I do that, but not regularly. So I do that when I feel anxious, or when I'm upset. So I just focus on my breath, like, okay, this shall pass. Yeah, I talk to myself like that. Or so what you said, what's the word? Not affirmation, conscious.
Conscious response.
Conscious response. Okay, so actually these days, um when I'm about to have some negative thoughts, then I talk to myself, all right, Shine, let's focus on the good. So the example of, yeah, today. So the number of views, yeah, so it's not that high as I expected. Then I just talk to myself, but you uploaded the video clips, and then so now you're working on your project. So yeah, so you're on the right track like that. Yeah, so let's focus on the good. Because you know what? The thing is, all right, so your business is about life coaching. But um yeah, but as you know, like 24-hour life coach, yeah, so it's just impossible, right? So life coaches, they just help people to, how can I say that, like, take care of themselves, even the life coaches are not beside of them, right? So anyways, all right, so yeah, thank you for sharing, yeah, the things from the book. So would you say the book saved your life?
It's a big statement, but yeah,
uh,
I would say it did. I would say it
uh-huh,
did. I mean,
uh-huh.
I have some sort of like inner stubbornness that
Mhm,
stops me from ever becoming depressed, I think.
mhm. Oh,
But
and
yeah,
but oh, go on. Yeah.
but yeah, no, the book was,
Uh-huh.
yeah, the book, turned everything around. Like, I
Mhm,
did it, and in 2023, I did it at the exact time that I needed to do it.
mhm,
Like, it was
mhm,
one of the
mhm,
best decisions I've made.
mhm. So, are you planning to write a book in the future? Do you want to write a
I
book?
am, yes. I have
When?
two concepts. I